Ultra-long-haul flights were supposed to revolutionize global air travel. Airlines launched ambitious routes that promised direct, non-stop travel over unprecedented distances. But many of these routes faced unexpected challenges, leading to suspensions and cancellations. What appeared to be a new era in aviation quickly became an economic puzzle that airlines struggled to solve. Ultra-long-haul routes were ambitious projects driven by advancements in aircraft technology and market demand for fewer connections. Despite initial optimism, the reality proved far more challenging than anticipated. So why did many of these record-breaking routes keep failing, even with the best aircraft ever built? For decades, most international flights meant one thing: a long layover at a big hub airport. This was the hub and spoke model, where passengers are funneled through centralized hubs before reaching their final destination. But what if you could skip the layover? In 2011, Boeing introduced the 787 Dreamliner. 4 years later, Airbus followed with the A350. Both aircraft were designed for long-range, lower-cost operations, ideal for lower-demand routes that couldn't support large aircraft before. By 2018, special ultra-long-range versions of these planes pushed the limits even further. Suddenly, routes once thought impossible, like flying non-stop across the Pacific or deep into Europe, could finally be flown non-stop. Airlines began experimenting. Direct, long-haul routes launched, and passengers took notice. Then in early 2020, COVID-19 brought global air travel to a standstill. But something interesting happened during the recovery. Many travelers preferred fewer connections, even if it meant paying more. Airlines adjusted quickly. Some aircraft were reconfigured for fewer passengers with more comfort. Economy sections shrank, premium cabins grew. For a while, everything aligned: modern aircraft, changing passenger behavior, and a fresh interest in premium direct travel. And by late 2020, ultra-long-haul flights weren't just an idea anymore. They were happening. Several of these long-haul flights quietly launched in the years that followed, some more successfully than others. Let's take a closer look at how they unfolded. Ultra-long-haul flights weren't just bold ideas on paper. Some genuinely took to the skies, pushing aviation boundaries. Let's explore 3 ambitious routes that made history. Each of them approached the challenge in a different way, through routing innovation, market strategy, or cabin design. In 2015, Air India pioneered a unique approach, connecting Delhi to San Francisco over the polar region. By flying north instead of over traditional routes, they saved nearly 2 hours of flight time. It wasn't the longest by distance, but this polar route was a rare example of a commercial airline flying through the high Arctic, requiring innovation to overcome extreme weather and complex airspace. Flying over the poles also demanded meticulous fuel planning and contingency routing. Then in 2017, Qatar Airways launched an ambitious flight from Doha to Auckland, lasting roughly 18 hours. At the time, it was the longest regularly scheduled flight, connecting the Middle East directly to the far reaches of the South Pacific. The goal? Attract premium travelers, avoiding layovers. Managing such a long haul also meant coordinating extended cruise shifts and maximizing limited cargo capacity. While operational hurdles were inevitable, the route symbolized a bold step toward direct global connectivity. But in 2018, Singapore took things even further, launching a direct connection from Singapore to Newark, reclaiming the title of the longest flight, nearly 19 hours in the air. Singapore's approach stood out: an all-premium cabin, specifically designed to cater to business and premium economy passengers willing to pay for convenience. Even today, ultra-long-haul innovation continues. Qantas is developing Project Sunrise, aiming to link Sydney directly to New York and London, pushing the limits of aviation yet again. These flights prove that ultra-long-haul travel wasn't just possible, it could work. But proving something can work is different from making it last. Keeping these flights in the air meant navigating a web of technical limits, cost pressures, and operational puzzles, some of which start to reveal why most ultra-long-haul routes don't last. It sounds like the ultimate convenience. One flight, halfway across the world, no stops. But ultra-long-haul flights are far more complex than they appear. To understand why they struggle, let's look closely at the longest commercial flight in the world, Singapore to Newark, almost 19 hours in the air. The appeal is clear: fewer airport touchpoints, better control over schedules, and premium fare potential. But making it work is another story. The first problem is fuel. To fly longer, you need more fuel. But fuel is heavy, and more fuel means more weight. So even more fuel is needed to carry the extra weight. It's a relentless cycle known as the fuel paradox. Only a handful of aircraft like the A350-900 ULR or Boeing 787-900 are capable of flying this far, and even then, only under specific weight and range configurations. Airlines manage this by limiting weight elsewhere. Singapore Airlines solution: no economy seats, only premium economy and business. This seems smart, higher fares per seat, but it dramatically reduces passenger count, which means each seat must sell at a premium price to break even. Crew logistics are another hidden complexity. On ultra-long flights, pilots and cabin crew rotate, legally requiring dedicated rest areas, more space used, fewer paying passengers. These flights also raise questions about passenger comfort. Spending over 18 hours in an enclosed cabin can lead to fatigue, even in premium cabins. One-stop itineraries break the journey, and for some, that's more manageable. Let's compare two options side by side. Singapore to Newark, non-stop, 18 hours in premium economy, or fly via Frankfurt, around 21 hours total, but with a layover. For passengers, the one-stop option might actually offer a better experience. A more spacious cabin for a similar fare, more departure times to choose from, and a chance to break up an otherwise exhausting trip. But for airlines, it's a very different story. Ultra-long-haul flights tie up an aircraft for a full day, limit flexibility, and depend on every seat selling at a premium. If demand dips even slightly, or if ticket prices can't hold, it's the airline, not the passenger, that eats the loss. For airlines, the math is tough. Ultra-long flights tie up an aircraft for a full day, restricting how often a plane can generate revenue. A typical long-haul aircraft could operate multiple shorter, profitable legs in the same window. And when you combine long block times, fewer seats, and high fuel loads, the cost per seat per hour rises sharply. Cargo, which often helps offset costs on long-haul routes, is also limited on ultra-long-haul flights. Between fuel load and maximum takeoff weight, there's less room for high-revenue freight. And even when airlines get the details right, maintaining high load factors year-round is difficult. The margin for error is thin. If even one part underperforms, it can be enough to turn a flight unprofitable. So while routes like these offer unmatched non-stop convenience, the operational trade-offs quickly stack up. Fuel load, crew planning, limited cargo, and reduced flexibility. Even with every detail optimized, the numbers often refuse to cooperate. And in aviation, that's usually when reality steps in. Ultra-long-haul flights are technical marvels, but financially, they're walking a tightrope. One slip, whether in pricing, fuel, or politics, and the whole route falls apart. These flights operate in a narrow band of profitability. You need high-paying passengers, but not so high that they book business class on a one-stop instead. And with limited cargo space due to fuel weight, airlines lose a key source of income. Sure, one-stop flights are often cheaper and more flexible, we've established that. But there's more going on here. Dozens of ultra-long-haul routes launched over the past decade but quietly, many vanished. Geopolitical issues like Russia's airspace closure dramatically reshaped global routing overnight. Take Air India's flight to the US. They now fly hours longer, skirting Russian airspace over the Arctic or Middle East. In some cases, rerouting added over 90 minutes to the flight time and pushed fuel costs up by tens of thousands per flight. These added hours drive up fuel, crew, and operational costs beyond profitability. Zooming out, the real issue isn't just detours or ticket prices. That's the deeper problem. Ultra long-haul flights rely on perfection. One weak link, be it fuel prices, ticket demand, or airspace access, and the whole model collapses. That's why so many of them quietly disappeared, not because of one big issue, but because they couldn't withstand many small ones. Ambition may launch a route, but only resilience keeps them flying. Even the strongest airlines struggled. Singapore Airlines' famous SQ21 route between Singapore and Newark only works financially thanks to an all-premium seat layout and careful fuel hedging. Meanwhile, Qantas's direct Perth to London service showed profits only under ideal seasonal loads, and even then, margins remained fragile. Margins this thin simply can't handle turbulence, whether from volatile fuel prices, geopolitical shifts, or market fluctuations. Yet despite all this, some airlines are still pushing boundaries, chasing the dream of flights that stretch across the globe. With so many challenges stacked against them, is there still a future for ultra long-haul flights? A few have to fight the odds. Singapore to New York is still flying. Dubai to Auckland made a comeback. And Qantas? They're still reaching for the skies. They're placing a bold bet with Project Sunrise, aiming to connect Sydney directly with London and New York by 2026, using a specially modified Airbus A350-1000 ULR. Cabins will even include dedicated wellness zones to help passengers manage the 20-hour journey. Sunrise skips cargo and targets only premium passengers. But the core problems haven't gone away. Fuel is volatile, airspace unreliable, and long-term profitability depends on consistently filling those premium seats. Meanwhile, most airlines are focusing elsewhere, prioritizing flexibility, regional demand, and short-haul profits over ultra-long marathons. There are still bold ideas for what might come next, but for now, that's all they are, ideas. But for all the ambition, reality remains stubborn. A few flights will push the limits. Most won't even try. Just because it's possible doesn't mean it works. Airlines said this would redefine flying. No layovers, no lost hours in transit, just a seamless leap across continents. The planes can do it. The fuel math works. The engineering holds up. But just because it works, doesn't mean it lasts. In reality, ultra-long-haul flights struggle to survive under thin profit margins, unpredictable passenger demand, and geopolitical shifts that erase what little profit remains. Most airlines quietly shelve their ambitious routes. Media excitement fades, and travelers drift back towards simpler, cheaper, one-stop flights. A handful survive, a few still test the boundaries. Most don't even try. What's left is a small handful of routes, scattered, expensive, and fragile. This isn't the future of flying, it's the remnants of a promise. The same economic puzzle that unraveled early long-haul ambitions still remains unsolved. So next time a record-breaking flight makes headlines, ask yourself, will this flight reshape travel or quietly disappear again?